90% of how successful you will be in your weight loss journey will revolve around your diet. Yes, diet is a major component to enable you see the results that you need in your weight loss journey. So in today's video, we'll be talking about, diet and the role it plays in weight loss. I'll be sharing my personal experiences and just some lessons that I learned throughout my process. So I personally think that diet is one of the most important factors when it comes to weight loss, if not the most important key, in enabling you to see the results that you need in your weight loss journey. So every other thing that you do in addition to diet, such as, just staying active or being, or exercising, or making sure that your self-care habits are in check, such as getting good enough sleep and rest, all of these things are secondary to diet. So for instance, if you are working out, 7 days a week, 3 hours a day from Monday through Sunday, and you're not eating the right diet, then I highly doubt that you'll see the results that you're looking for. Reason why I believe that diet is the most efficient way to maintain weight loss even after you lose it. So this may be surprising, considering the fact that I personally dedicate a lot of time towards physical activity and exercise. But, like I said, I've learned my lessons over the years, and reason why I think, no matter what you do, you can't out-train a bad diet. You definitely have to make sure that you're eating the right diet and that it's working for you and your weight loss journey. So a couple of lessons learned throughout my weight loss journey when it comes to diet. You definitely have to be in a calorie deficit to see the results that you need or to be successful in your weight loss journey. So what do I mean by being in a calorie deficit? You are going to have to consume less calories than the amount of calories that you're burning on a daily basis. Okay, so it's simple. You'll have to consume less amount of calories than that which you're burning on a daily basis. So you may be wondering, so how do you do this, right? It's not that complicated, but I think, we tend to make it overcomplicated. So personally, I struggled a lot at the beginning of my journey, just trying to find the right diet and what works for me. And I'll tell you one of the most important things that I learned. For someone like me who was a beginner, who had no prior experiences, with the different types of diets that are out there, I think it was a horrible mistake that I made, just thinking that I could just quit my current diet or whatever diet I, was engaging in at the time and just transition to a new diet and be successful. So I tried this a couple of times and I failed, okay? So there are a lot of great diet plans out there, such as, keto, Weight Watchers, carnivore diet, there are a lot of diet or resources that, we have available. But I think, in the beginning, I think you wouldn't be doing yourself, any favors if you just, transition suddenly from your current diet to one of these diet plans, because it's less likely that you stick to the plan. So just like me, you probably tried for a couple of attempts, and then you wouldn't be able to pull through because you were not prepared to, embark on that journey. So my recommendations would be, when you're just starting this process, we have to take baby steps, right? Remember, we talked about just making realistic goals and realistic expectations in order to be successful in the weight loss journey. So starting out, I would definitely recommend that you stick to your current diet, okay? So whatever you're eating, just stick to whatever diet that's working for you. And then what you need to do is just make sure that you start out with portion control. So you're going to eat the same things that you eat on a daily basis, but starting off, you would try to eat smaller portions, okay? So eat the same things you love eating, but just start out by eating smaller portions. So for instance, if you drink 5 cans of pop a day, in the beginning of your journey, the goal will be to try to cut back on the number of soda or pop that you're drinking on a daily basis, and then to eventually wean off of that. Same thing, if you eat like 5 slices of pizza in a day, when you start out, the goal will be to, you eat 2 or 3, and then you eventually kind of like, wean yourself off of that. So I think that's a more realistic, expectation when you're just starting out in the beginning of your journey, because I think, you have to form certain habits and routines and then stick to that and actually master those habits before you are ready to make a big transition to like a diet plan, because in doing it this way, you would have better results. Believe me, I've done all of these things and I'm just sharing my experiences. So starting out, I recommend just eat whatever you're eating and then just focus on portion control, just eating smaller amounts of the foods that you love eating on a daily basis. And then once you've mastered the art of portion control, the next thing that I'll recommend, on the same diet, that you're eating without really changing the things that you're eating, the recommendation would be to include fiber and protein, okay? So having, high amounts of protein and fiber in your daily diet is very, efficient for weight loss. So fiber helps to slow down, digestion, keeping you fuller for a long period of time. And protein slows down the hunger hormones. So again, that kind of together, they work to keep you fuller for a long period of time. So whatever diet that you're currently, sticking to, just make sure that you're incorporating high sources of both protein and fiber. There are lots of resources, you could look it up and see what foods are high in, protein and fiber. There are lots of resources out there. And then you could just make sure that you add that to, your current diet, whatever you're eating. Just make sure you're having good amounts of protein and fiber. Okay, so that's the second thing you do. So first thing, stick to your current diet, but just eat less of the foods that you love eating. Just make sure that you keep the calories down, and then you try to incorporate the fiber and the protein to your current diet. So these are the two things that, I kind of started off doing. And then, we previously talked about the importance of water, right? So while you're watching your portion control and making sure that you're eating enough fiber and protein, the next thing would just be to make sure you work on your water intake. Just make sure that you're consuming good amounts of water, throughout the day. Because in addition, to the current diet and your amount of water intake daily, these are things that all work together to help you see good results. And you'll be surprised at, the results that you may get just by doing these simple things like, portion control and including fiber and protein in your diet. So once you've mastered, these three things, then I would recommend at that time, for me personally, I had to do this for a couple of months to make sure that it just became, a routine, part of my daily habits. And then once you're comfortable in, with doing these things and you think that you're ready to make a transition to a specific diet, then, I think that would be the right time to make that transition. And I think once you make a transition to a specific diet, whatever diet you decide, because again, there are lots of, different diets out there and different diet plans, but, just starting out with the basis will enable you to be able to sustain whatever transition, that you make as far as diet goes. Personally, for me, one of the things that I did, when it comes to, the diet plan was after making sure that I, have good portion control, making sure I'm drinking enough water, making sure that I'm incorporating my protein and fibers in my diet. The one thing that I worked on was intermittent fasting, okay? So personally, this has been, I think this has been very significant for me and my weight loss journey. There are different types of, intermittent fasting out there. So if you are curious, like me, I did a lot of research, on the different types of intermittent fasting and just what the plans were, to find something that, kind of worked for me. But just like everything, you have to take baby steps. So I think just starting out by mastering, portion control, sticking to the foods that you love eating, just making sure you're eating smaller portions of these foods, making sure you're drinking enough water, and then just making sure that you're incorporating high sources of protein and fiber in your diet, as this will enable you or help you stay fuller, and definitely help you stick to eating the smaller portions and decrease the frequency of like how often you're getting to eat. So if you have, any questions about, what I shared, feel free to leave a thought or a comment or any ideas, what has worked for you and what didn't work for you in the past. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.